Two players to pick out of the back post. The cross comes into Dallas. Goal! Stuart Dallas with the goal.
Hello then and welcome to Matchday Live here on LUTV. Wherever you're watching across the world, a massive game in store. The Black Cats are here. Leeds United taking on Sunderland, looking to take 3 points and continue this unbeaten record that we've had here at home for the whole season. Wherever you're watching, send in your score predictions, your photos from wherever you're watching, and your thoughts on tonight's match. It really is a huge one, and of course this is available in selected territories, so scan the QR code for your opportunity to watch the match tonight. Joining me in the studio is former Leeds United player Jermaine Beckford. Bex, this is a huge one. You can feel the atmosphere walking in here tonight. Elland Road is filling up, and this is a massive, well, the first of two home games this week coming up, and it's got to be 3 points, Bex, hasn't it?
It's got to be 3 points, especially after the Coventry game. You know, the frustrating thing for me about that Coventry game is that we dominated the game. We played really, really nice, neat football, but we just didn't come away with the result that we probably deserved. Now we've got another opportunity to win the game. You know, look, we're looking at an opportunity to pick 3 points up, continue this amazing run that we've had at home, unbeaten all season, with only a few draws thrown in there as well. The crowd, fingers crossed, are going to get behind this team and be the difference that we're going to need. The most important thing is that we start the game on the front foot. We start the game really, really positively, get a nice early goal, relax a couple of those early nerves that we saw against Coventry, and then that way we'll be able to get in the swing of things. Fingers crossed.
If anyone looks at the table at the moment, which we all have been doing over the last few weeks,
yeah, we have.
I mean, there's all the permutations. You look, Leicester have nipped up to the top now. Ipswich lost at the weekend, but they're in second place. We're a point behind in third. Leicester play. They start 15 minutes before us. They're kicking off in just about 10 minutes' time. Ipswich play tomorrow. And you can talk yourself through all this might happen, that might happen. I think if the weekend shown us anything, maybe, with us and Ipswich losing, is that it's going to be impossible to predict how these final five go, or six for Leicester.
Yep.
Other than trying to go out there and you see Ethan Ampadu. And by the way, he starts tonight. There was a little question mark over his fitness, but it's the same team that played Coventry. All we do know is that there are going to be twists and turns. It's not, we thought, well, the teams are just going to keep winning. But actually, who knows what's going to happen in these next few weeks?
Exactly that. The most important thing that we can do, obviously, we as football fans, we love to check the tables, we love to check the results to see what's happened in the other games. These guys, the players now, they can't do that. They have to focus on the here and the now. They have to focus on what's going to happen today against Sunderland. Sunderland have been on a really, really ropey run of the last 10 games. I think they've only won one, they've drawn two, and they've lost all the rest. That doesn't say to me they're going to be a pushover. That says to me they're going to be a dangerous outfit because they've got nothing to lose. They're They've been on a really wretched run of form as of late. They've dropped out of the playoff positions. They'll be looking to bounce back. They'll be looking to have a reaction against arguably the biggest team in the Championship. They're coming here. It's like being in an FA Cup final. It's like playing at Wembley Stadium. This is a massive opportunity, a massive occasion for them to try and upset the juggernaut that is Leeds United and what we've been able to achieve as of so far this season. I don't want them to, if I'm being honest. But it's one of those things. Look, we have to be organised. We have to be very focused and driven. Do the job that you're supposed to do.
Fingers
come
crossed.
Away with the victory.
Can I make a full and frank and sincere apology to anyone watching for Jermaine using the word Sunderland and FA Cup in the same sentence? If you were there in 1973, do apologise if it brought back some horrible memories for you.
Yeah.
You talked about bouncing back. They're going to want to bounce back. It's important for us to bounce back, isn't it? And a lot of times after a defeat, it's all right, it's happened. How do you respond? And back here in front of this lot, who are as loud as anything, is the perfect opportunity just to get that back on the track, make sure it's rolling ahead of that Blackburn game and then that final three in the run-in.
Well, yeah, exactly. But the most important thing positively to take from that Coventry game is the amount of opportunities we created, the amount of chances we created. We weren't the best in the final third. We weren't the best when it came to the final thought in terms of the shooting, the crossing or the final pass. But we created so many opportunities, so many chances. The players would have had an opportunity to go back, analyse the game, see where they could have improved, see what they could have done a little bit better, and they would have worked on that for a couple of days. They'll come in here today, amazing atmosphere, as always. Night games are always incredible. I used to love playing here in a night game, but it just feels different. I don't know what it is. There's something in the air, the lights, when they're shining, it just feels different. So the players are going to want to come here and just enjoy themselves. But to be able to enjoy themselves, I think first and foremost, they need to start off really quickly. Put this Sunderland defence on the back foot, knowing that they concede goals. You know, I think they've conceded the sixth most amount of goals in the Championship this season. There's an opportunity there. We just need to get at them nice and early, put them on the back foot, put them under immense pressure and see how they cope.
In terms of the team news, you will have seen, you'll see it on the screen there, it is the same team that started against Coventry in that 2-1 defeat. Bex, are you surprised with that, or is it a case of Daniel Farke will look at that and say, do you know what, go out, put it right, go and win the game? Is that the way you would have done that tonight?
Look, I completely understand why he's done it, because in terms of the overall performance-wise, energy levels, the pressing was really good, the performance was good in patches, in areas. We've seen these players operate really well together as a unit. So I'm not surprised we're seeing the same starting 11. Would I have made one or two changes? Quite possibly. I would have liked to have seen Matteo Joseph start, to be honest with you, just because he offers something slightly different. I think he's got a little bit more intensity in his pressing. He's a little bit more direct when he picks the ball up. He's a bit more bullish than Pat at the moment. But look, Patrick's got the experience. So we know that he knows where the back of the net is. He's just going for a bit of a torrid time in front of goal at the moment. Once he gets one goal, he'll get a second, third and fourth. And that's just how it works for strikers. I was the same. I went through a little bit of a patch. You score one, then you score the next one, you score the next one. It could come off your bum, it could come off your back. It doesn't matter. It's just a matter of being in the right place at the right time. That would be the only change I would make. That being said, I would have brought Patrick on anyway. So it doesn't really matter which way around it goes.
Well, it is the decision of Daniel Farke. We'll hear from him shortly, but before we do, your commentary team tonight are Bryn Law and former Leeds United defender Tony Doriga. Let's get their thoughts from the tunnel ahead of tonight's crucial match.
Another pressure game for Leeds United, this time for the first time this year. They're looking to bounce back from a defeat with this fixture against Sunderland. Team news first. Tony, same team as started the game at Coventry. Is that any surprise to you?
Not really. Good news though, with Ethan Ampadu. Obviously he was ill the last couple of days, but he's fit enough to captain the side, so I think that's really important. But not a surprise, no, for me that the boys go again, because there's no doubt the manager has plenty of trust in his side, trust in his players, and he's giving them confidence and giving them another opportunity to play better really than we have in the previous game.
That's put extra pressure on the fixture though, hasn't it, the defeat at the weekend? Or has it?
There's always pressure. There's always pressure to win and perform. And I think that's what the boys need to understand. And I'm sure Daniel Farke's told them exactly the same thing, and that what they have to do is get back to the levels previously, but it's nothing they haven't done before. It's not impossible. It's just getting back to business and really playing at the right tempo, feeding off the crowd. And when those chances come, can we capitalise on them?
When these two met at Sunderland, obviously the home team won, since which there's been all sorts of change at Sunderland, and they've been on a poor run as well. Does that count for anything this evening?
It does a little bit, but when you come to Elland Road as an away side, you know what you're in for, and they will be up for it. The fans will be here, really wanting to enjoy it and put certainly a spanner in the works of our promotion push. So they will come here and try to impress. Jack Clark, of course, an ex-player, he wants to come back and show how good he is. There's an interim manager, so clearly there's issues, within the club. There's a few young players there playing as well. So who knows how they're going to respond? But what I would say is forget them. It's all about us, and it really is getting back to business and doing the best that we can do. And us at our best, we win the game no problems at all. And it's our approach rather than what they do.
And a good start would be helpful on that basis, wouldn't it?
It would, please. Yes, none of this scoring in the last minute stuff. Our tickers won't cope with it. But yeah, a nice strong start. The crowd are going to be up for it. It's great. The conditions out there look perfect as well. Hopefully the wind will calm down a little bit. But yeah, a good start would be absolutely vital. Goal early in the first 10-15 minutes, please, would be really nice.
There you go. I second that emotion. Let's hope Leeds United can get off to a great start in the big game against Sunderland.
Brilliant, Tony. We'll bring you your commentary from 8 o'clock tonight. I think what Tony was saying there, in a way, getting off to a good start and playing at our best. If we play at our best, we're going to beat pretty much any team in the league. Yeah. I think it's fair to say, Daniel Farke touched on this. Leeds didn't play at their best against Coventry at the weekend. It just wasn't a great performance, was it? Really?
It was frustrating, and I think you can kind of gather that from what he said in his press conference. I think it was one of the first times I've actually seen him a little bit frustrated with the performance, with the finishing aspect. But again, we created enough chances, we created enough opportunities, and if we were to take them, the conversation after the game would have been completely different. We'd be looking at this game from a completely different perspective. That's just how it is. That's the standard, that's the levels. Those are the levels that Daniel Farke and his backroom staff have managed to draw from these players. So the frustration is there. He won't let the players do the same thing again. That's just a given. I think Coventry are one of the only teams to have taken 4 points or more from us this season, and he's not going to want to let that happen again today, because Sunderland have already taken 3 points off us earlier on this season. He'll be looking at it saying, look, be ruthless in front of goal. Don't allow them to hit us on the counter-attack. Make sure we're sturdy, make sure we're deep, make sure we keep the pitch nice and narrow when we're defending. When we turn the ball over, get at them. Be creative, explore and express yourselves in the positive manners. Get the ball out wide nice and early. Link play with the forward players, with Patrick, with Jorginho Ruta. And then see what happens. Get the ball moving quickly, and that way you've got the defenders moving out of the way as well.
Let's take a look at Coventry from the weekend, because we're sat here in the studio, weren't we?
Do we have to?
I'm afraid we do. It's the way it works in football. Fortunately, we haven't had to do this, but we left ourselves an uphill climb, really, didn't we? And I suspect, Jermaine, you were saying at the weekend, the first goal from a corner it's scrappy as anything, isn't it? And the second one, it comes from one of our corners, and they're at the other end 15 seconds later, and they've scored. But that's the first goal there from Sims, and then right for a free kick, I should say. Yeah. To be in this position and then concede, if you're a manager looking at that, you must have your head in your hands thinking, what's going on here?
Yeah, definitely. Especially when you look at it from this perspective here. It's 3-on-2. There's a third Coventry player there. Ethan Ampadu gets back. So defensively, we look like we're in a great position. It's just a switch off at the back post, and it's the same with the first goal. There was a switch off at the back post. It's just individual errors. They haven't broken us down. They haven't played great, intricate, neat football to get through the lines or anything like that. Those are easy areas to rectify. That's not a problem at all. So Daniel Farke won't be too worried about it. What I like is the reaction that we saw from the substitutes. You look at Matteo Joseph. He won the ball on the wing, dribbled along the wing, found a nice little neat pass inside. great, composed, relaxed finish from Joel Peru, who I personally think is the best finisher at the club. He's so relaxed in front of goal. Just look at the body language. It takes his time, you know. He sees the finishing aspect of the game in slow motion, which is not easy to do. Unfortunately, it wasn't meant to be, but for himself, confidence-wise, that's going to do an absolute wonder. That's going to do wonders for him, because he's finding it a little bit tricky to get into the team at the moment.
Yeah, well, Daniel Farke will be in that changing room right now with 15 minutes to go, just having a chat with the players, just getting them ready for tonight's big game against Sunderland. 8 o'clock kick, of course, here on Matchday Live. Let's hear from the manager of Leeds United. Here's the thoughts of Daniel Farke ahead of tonight's match.
Special feeling, because we're not used to have a day after a loss in this year, and also we allowed us in the first 24 hours to be disappointed, to suffer also a little bit. We allowed us to be self-critical, especially in the dressing room. I don't like vanity, and I like to speak, and I don't like to sugarcoat a game when we're not there at our best, and we were not there at our best away at Coventry. So we allowed us to be self-critical, but then it's also important not to dwell under it, and to see also the bigger picture. If around Christmas, when we were, how was it, 17 points behind Leicester, someone would have told me with 5 games to go, we're just 2 points behind them. Okay, they have got 1 game in hand, and also Ipswich was 10, 12 points away, and we are right now just 1 point behind them. Several points at the moment ahead of Southampton. If someone would have told us it would be this scenario, 5 games to go, I think many people would have said, no, it's not realistic. And we've done this, and I think a lot to be proud of, and it's important also to see the bigger picture. 4 teams have still the chance to finish in the top 2, and will be a tight race. It's always about the individual quality. It's always about the quality as a team. It's also, you need a bit of luck in terms of injuries, that no key player is injured or then available for the run in. But then it's also about the right mentality for this last 5 games, because one thing is to bring yourself close to the line, but it's also a different scenario and different topic than to have the mentality to bring it over the line. And you need a special winning mentality. This is what you need to have and need to show. And will be an interesting run in, and we'll see what happens in the next 5 games. My personal feeling is that I'm at my best when it's really the sea is getting rough, and you have to show leadership, and also to be there with the right decision, and cool in the head, although the fire is burning in the heart. But the biggest problem is it's not about me. So football is never just a manager's game, or like a game of chess between managers. The most important are the players, and I'm not that important. I'm important in order to help my group of players and to help my players. And I know that we've got a pretty young group, though. That's good, because in terms of energy, it helps a lot, but also in terms of experience, it could be sometimes challenging, because not that many players were in such a situation before, when you have a relatively young team. It was also a quite similar scenario when I think about my first promotion with Norwich. We also had a team who had no experience in this, and you still have a chance to do this. And just that I've done it also twice before, sadly, on the other hand, it's also not a guarantee that we will do it again to bring it over the line. But I believe in my team, I believe in my group, and I'm quite sure that we have a great chance to finish. Yes, also in the top positions, and if not, then still a great chance then after the season by using the playoffs. But our focus right now to finish as strong as possible in the last 5 games. If I can give one message, we have to make sure as a group of players, staff members, also together with our supporters, if we want really something to cheer about at the end of the season, let's make sure that we play this last 3 home games like cup final. Make sure that we have the best possible atmosphere ever, and even that our supporters, if they really want to celebrate in the end of the season together with us, make sure if it's anyhow possible that you guys carry us also through perhaps even a bit challenging periods during the game. So obviously it's up to us to deliver on the pitch, but yes, if we want to celebrate all together, let's make sure that we are successful in these home games. And I'm quite sure if we do this, then we have a great chance to finish really in a position where we want to finish.
The thoughts of Daniel Farke says he doesn't mind the rough seas as we approach this back end of the season. I think what's interesting there as well, because we've heard him say this after big wins, enjoy the moment, but then we move on to the next. And he said it after a defeat as well. Feel the discomfort, feel the pain of the defeat. As a former player, you need to sit in that for a little bit, don't you, Bex, before you move on to the next one? Yeah,
I genuinely feel like you do. Because if you just brush it under the carpet, it doesn't mean much to you. You know, you'll just get on with it, get on with the next game. You're not thinking about the pain of what it feels like to become so close to something, not be able to get there, not be able to reach it, to use that to drive you forwards for the next game. So the biggest thing for me is, look, deal with it. 24 hours, feel that pain. If you wanna take yourself away from it all and just sulk for a minute, do it. Not a problem. But after that 24 hours, you get back to it. Understand that you don't want to feel this feeling again. You don't like it. It's not part of. You don't want it to be a part of your generic makeup. You don't want it to be a part of your your match routine. So deal with it. Forget it. Analyze the game. Where can you improve? And you improve on it. You work on it every single day at training, after training, so that you don't feel those painful moments again.
The good news is the chance to put it right comes quickly because. Tonight's match, not long since the one at Coventry. And if you didn't like us showing the Coventry goals, Bex, just before, you're going to be fuming at the fact that we'll now have to show the previous Sunderland match. And, you know, Leeds haven't lost that many times this season, but Sunderland earlier in the season, who, bearing in mind, they were sixth in the league at this point. You know, they're 13th now and have a really terrible run. But it was another goal that you just look at and you think, well, it's a bit of a scrap, really, and an easy finish in the end for Joe Bellingham.
Yeah, and there's so many elements of that goal that reminds me not only of the first and second goals against Coventry, but of Jude Bellingham's movements as well. You know, it's that third man run. It's just a matter of picking them up, understanding when these players are coming through. Somebody's got to mark him. It's not like we never had enough bodies in the box. There were 7 players in the box at one point. So there's more than enough players to see the threat and alleviate the threat. However, it's one of those things, in the moment, it's much more difficult to see and spot. These are areas that we've not seen anybody exploit these very often against us. So it's just a matter of when they do happen, when that picture starts to arise, see it, deal with it, don't let it happen.
Sunderland obviously come here as the underdogs in this match. You know, if you look at the betting or the stats, you know, Leeds are undefeated at home. If we win tonight, it'll be 10 league wins on the bounce at Elland Road, which is quite the record.
It's incredible. Yeah.
That said, they'll come here with the knowledge that they've beaten us this season. What does that do for you as a player of a team, saying we've done this once, we can go and do it again? Does that give you an added confidence?
Yeah, of course it does. But also, when you're coming to a place like this, against a team like this, you know that if you get an early goal, you're going to quiet the crowd down. And that is a massive, massive part of opposition teams and opposition players wanting to play above their levels. You know, look, on a weekly basis, if they're getting 6 out of 10, 7 out of 10s, when they come here, they'll be picking up 8, 8.5, possibly even 9 out of 10 rankings. So, look, the opportunity to find a way to become, I don't know, a player that Leeds United look at for the future is a big one. They'll be looking at that saying, well, do you know what, if I play well here today, in the summer, which is not too far away, maybe Leeds United will be looking at me as a player that we can sign. All
right, it's an exciting one tonight. Of course, Jack Clark, former Leeds player, up against Archie Gray on that side. What's going to happen there, Bex, very quickly? What's the score going to be tonight?
I'm going to go with 3-1 Leeds United.
We will take that any day of the week, especially this Tuesday evening. Big game in store. The music is ramping up here at Elland Road. Your commentary team are ready in the gantry, but before we head to them, let's hear the thoughts pre-match of Leeds United's player Junior Firpo.
Well, Junior, you've had a couple of days to work through things since the disappointment of the defeat at Coventry. Have they been useful times for you?
Yeah, obviously, I don't know how to say it because it's the first loss that we've got in the 2024. It's a little bit disappointed because I think we had a really good chance, to take some points away from Ipswich. But as I say, I think our 2024 has been brilliant. People don't need to lose the nerves. Players don't need to lose the nerves. And if today we win, it will look different.
Home form obviously has been really, really good, in particular this year, so that's a run that you will want to keep going, isn't it?
Yeah, of course. I think our home record is unbelievable. We have to know that we will not win the game just because we are playing at home and because we are Leeds United. If not, we have to make a really good game. I think it's a really good opponent, and we have to prove it on the pitch.
Yeah, they showed you that in the game at their stadium, didn't they, where they got the win in the end, so you know that you're going to get a tough game this evening.
Yeah, as I said, this league is relentless. It's really difficult to play every 3 days, more or less, against all the teams are really, really good sides. They play brave, and as I said, everyone wants to come to Elland Road to be the first one who beat Leeds at home. So I think they will come with this target. But as I said, if we do what we have to do, we will be fine.
So here we go, 3 left at Elland Road, the last one under the lights, and Leeds United know that really, in all honesty, nothing but a win will do tonight, with another home game to come here at the weekend as well. It's basically win everything and then see what happens.
That's quite straightforward then, really, isn't it? We know what we have to do, you're right. This stage of the season, somehow, some way, find a way to win football matches. 5 to go, as you say, 3 at home, 2 away. And always just look at the next game, and this is Sunderland, big game now.
2 teams are in the tunnel.